James Potter, Remus Lupin, Sirius Black, Peter Pettigrew, Paul's Breath, and the Prisoner of Azkaban by gonzoclock. Chapter 4. Harry is sitting in the common room, curled up on the couch closest to the fire. He's staring into the fire, trying not to think of anything at all. He'd go to bed, but he misses his friends and wants to be there when they get back. Harry looks over as he hears the portrait door swing open, then sighs internally as he sees that instead of his friends, it's the marauders. "Thanks again, Wen," Lupin says, smiling warmly at the portrait. "Don't let it happen again, Mr. Lupin," the portrait says sternly. "Wouldn't dream of it," Lupin assures her, before turning away. His warm expression goes tired as his smile slips off his face. Behind him, James is helping a violently shaking Sirius through the portrait hole. "Thanks, old chap," Sirius says through chattering teeth. "You're welcome, old chap," James says. Bringing up the rear is Wormtail, whose face is completely blank. Harry winces. Looks like they've heard the news. Some of it, anyway. "Up you get. Let's see how much the dorm's changed, yeah?" "Bet it's got a ball pit now," James says, helping Sirius up the stairs. He catches Harry's eye and nods. Harry nods back, hesitant. As they disappear from view, Harry turns back to the fire and turns off his thinking again. Harry doesn't know how long it's been before he feels someone sink into the seat next to him. He flinches and turns just in time to catch James's grimace. It's quickly replaced by an easy smile. "Sorry," James says. "Didn't mean to startle you." "Right," Harry mutters. He doesn't know how he's supposed to act here. James leans back in his seat. "You going home for Christmas?" James asks, staring up at the ceiling. Despite himself, Harry lets out a snort. "Yeah, that's about what I thought." James laughs, then sobers up. They sit in silence for a moment. "I've turned 17 in a year and a half, so I can't get custody yet, but I reckon we can get old man Lupin to take us in till then," James says conversationally. Harry bursts into a coughing fit. "Well, sorry. Do you need water? Are you right?" James asks, looking worriedly at Harry. His hands are up like he wants to pat Harry's back to help him clear his airway, but he's restraining himself. "I'm good," Harry wheezes. Just I'm good. I'm good, Harry wheezes. "Just give me a sec." "Righto," James says, although he continues to watch Harry with a worried expression until Harry's coughing has subsided. "Anyways, thoughts?" Harry looks at James's hopeful expression and his heart sinks. I can't," he says. James's brows furrow. "Why not?" I Harry starts, hand absently reaching up to touch his scar. He doesn't know how much James knows about the ball, and he's not sure he wants to be the one to break the news to him. "I have to stay with my aunts for my own protection," he finally says. James's face clears up. "Ah," he says. "That explains nothing, and sounds like bullshit." Harry opens his mouth, then closes it, and shrugs. It's not like he can argue with the old boy. "Why do you need to be protected?" James asks, eyes falling on Harry's scar. Does it have something to do with that cool-looking scar? Harry says. Then he decides that he doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to try and fulfill what he says to James. "Voldemort. Big bad genocidal maniac. Know him?" "I've heard stories," James says, eyes narrowing. Harry looks back into the fire, takes a deep breath, and says, "Right. Well, one night, around 12 years ago, he broke into my parents' house, killed the older you, killed my mum, then shot a Nevada at my face, point blank. It backfired thanks to some crazy, unprecedented magical ritual created by Lily, but everyone thinks I was the one to end the war, which has made me both extremely famous and extremely targeted. Dumbledore stuck a charm on me that amplified the blood protection Lily laid on me, and now I have to stay at my aunt's during the summer, or else I'm pretty much dead meat." James hums. Harry looks over at James, surprised at how easily he seems to be taking this. He's staring into the fire, brow furrowed in thought. The only indication that he might not be as chill about this as he lets on is his rapidly bouncing leg. I don't buy it, James decides, but it warrants further research. I'll get my best men on it. Harry snorts again. And by best men, you mean Remus and myself, and possibly Old Man Lupin too. You know, the best of the best. Right, Harry says, laughing. Of course, best of the best. James leans back and closes his eyes, hands behind his head. And worst case scenario, I just come with you at the end of the year. Harry stares at James in disbelief. Then, when he realizes the boy isn't joking, sits up straight. His stomach is lurching unpleasantly. Absolutely not, Harry says. That would end so badly. For everyone, me and you especially. James shrugs, not opening his eyes. I'm your dad. You can't tell me what to do. Harry opens his mouth to respond when, alright, if I don't get an explanation in the next 20 seconds, I'm going to have a panic attack. Run! Harry shouts, launching himself off the couch and into the red-haired boy's arms. The taller boy grunts, but catches Harry easily enough. Harry buries his face into Ron's shoulder and in a muffled voice asks, Where's Hermione? She wanted to stop by the library, Ron says, staring at James with narrowed eyes. She'll be here soon. Can we talk about why this kid looks like you and also called himself your dad? James sits up and sticks a hand out to Ron. Nice to meet you. I'm James Potter. I've had a hell of a day. Ron's eyes stay narrowed, but with some difficulty he frees an arm from Harry's iron grasp and clasps and clasps James's hand, shaking it. Ron Weasley. Any relation to Fred and George? Ron raises an eyebrow and gestures to his face. What do you think? James laughs. The portrait door opens again, and Harry looks up from Ron's shoulder, heart leaping. Unfortunately, it's not Hermione. Fortunately, it is Neville. Hey, Nev, Harry waves, pulling away from Ron. Neville waves back, then pauses as he sees James. Oh, there is going to be a lot of me explaining this in the next little while, James says, wincing. He looks up at Harry, face suddenly looking a little panicky. Should I lie? What should I tell people? Harry shrugs. No clue. Usually people come to their own conclusions when it comes to me. Damn, James whispers. He looks back at Neville and then does a double take. Neville is watching this interaction, a shrewd gleam in his eye. How about, he starts, you try out a story on me and I'll let you know if it's believable. James snaps suddenly, pointing at Neville. Alice! Then his jaw drops. And Frank? That's Sly Dog. Neville pales, then narrows his eyes. On second thoughts, he says, turning to Harry, how about I go to my dorm and you tell me later? James grimaces. Oops. Sorry, the wall. Right. Sorry. Fuck. Harry watches, confused and a little worried as his friend slips off, headed upstairs. Ron turns to James, a fat look on his face. Smooth, he says. James gives Ron a sheepish smile, and Ron rolls his eyes. The portrait door swings open periodically, letting a couple more Gryffindors into the room each time. Most of them take one look at James, then at Harry, then shake their heads and head up to their respective dorms. There have been a lot less questions than I had anticipated, James muses. They're probably thinking that you're just the next Potter debacle, Hermione says, slipping comfortably in between where Harry and Ron had sat down, across from James, but still comfortably close to the fire. Hermione, Harry says, turning and giving the girl a hug. Yes, Hermione says, waving him off, then turning back to James. What are you? James sticks out a hand. James Potter, not the original though. As far as we can figure, I'm something of a magical clone. Not that I feel like a clone, of course. Hermione, I presume? Hermione looks at his outstretched hand, then up at his face. Her eyes are glittering with barely repressed academic curiosity. I see, she says finally, before turning to Harry. Does this have something to do with the Philosopher's Stone you nicked? Yep, Harry says, popping the pea. He doesn't think he'll ever stop being impressed with how quick Hermione is on the uptake. Can we go back to next part of the debacle? James says, looking at Harry. Because, to be frank, everyone is acting a lot cooler about the Philosopher's Stone thing than I think they should be. Wait till you hear about the basilisk, Ron snorts. Harry and Hermione shoot him twin glares at as James blinks. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to need to hear about the story. James? The three look over towards the staircase where an exhausted-looking Remus is standing, wrapped in a blanket. Are you wrapping up yet? Your dog is being a pain in my ass, and we could really use your help. James grimaces and goes to stand up. Another time then, he says and walks off. Before he gets to the stairs, James turns back and shoots a couple of finger guns at Harry. Don't be a stranger. Then he jogs up the stairs and disappears from view. Hermione and Ron turn as one to look at Harry, who is basking in the close proximity of his two favourite people. Was that? Hermione starts. Remus Lupin? Harry yawns. Yeah, today has been a day. Sounds like it, Ron mutters. Can't leave you alone for 1 minute, huh? Nope, Harry decides. Alright, when you see 15-year-old Sirius Black wandering around, try not to curse him, yeah? Oh my god, Hermione says, holding her hand up to her mouth. Harry, are you alright? No way it took you that long to figure out that our boy might be going through some shit, Ron says, staring at Hermione in disbelief. Hermione scowls at Ron, who holds his hands up. Right, sorry, bigger things. Not really, Harry says drowsily, leaning on Hermione. James all but said he was going to take on the Dursleys for me, though. Hermione and Ron share an appreciative glance. Wouldn't count on it, though, Harry says, closing his eyes. Let's not get our hopes up, yeah? Yeah, Hermione says softly, hands carding through his hair. Sure thing, and whispers, taking Harry's glasses off and putting them safely on the nearest end table. With funny notes. James sees Harry and goes, Is anyone going to be a dad to this? And doesn't wait for an answer. Okay. That was fun. We got a bit more like focusing on Harry there, not really the Marauders, which I'm not gonna complain about. But I'm here for the funny time travel Marauders. I love this book so much. It's genuinely amazing. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I realized while I'm recording this, the first episode isn't even out yet, which is crazy to me. Yeah, it's 5:13 on the 24th of June for me. First episode isn't even out. I love this series too much, and it's so short, so it's so nice. Like when I'm working on the longer series, it's like, oh, if I start a chapter, I'm gonna have to record for like an hour, and it's forever, and it's like less motivating to actually record it. But the short ones, I'm like, 15 minutes. I've got 15 minutes. Let's go. I've got another 15 minutes. I'll record for probably like a lot longer. I recorded now 3 chapters, I think, because the first one I did yesterday. Yeah, 3 chapters today. It's about 45ish minutes. Doesn't feel like it because it's a lot more rewarding to finish a video really quickly and then have it uploaded and everything than to actually just be recording for 45 minutes. Yeah. Anyway, I am, just heads up, I am going to be working on Descendants of Olympus, I think it was called, but just after this. So yeah, I'll always constantly be jumping between series of Marauder series and PGO series. So just because I like both. And they're fun. Like, who doesn't like time travel? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye.